Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would try and recreate the blue look that I had in my, what video was it? Comparing the Laura Mercier powders. So many of you guys told me you loved that look and I actually filmed it for an Instagram video, but I thought I would try and recreate it with my palette. Since I know so many of you guys have this, thank you for buying it and supporting. I did actually use the Be Perfect Carnival 3 palette for that look, but essentially I used blue, pink and yellow, and this palette kind of has that, the pinky purple in here anyway, this one here. Anyways, let me stop rambling. I'm also missing a nail, so just excuse that, okay? It popped off and I have no idea where it went, so we're just gonna move on. So I'm actually gonna start with foundation, and I got sent the new Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation, but they sent me the wrong shade. They sent me Warm Sand, which is my under eye concealer shade, not my foundation shade. So luckily they said they will send me out another shade, but for now I'm gonna have to mix the two. Usually I wear the shade Maple, but because I'm mixing it with a lighter shade, I'm gonna take the shade Chai and Warm Sand, oh nearly dropped it, and mix them together. I've taken 2 pumps of each foundation and I'm mixing them together to hopefully get something similar to my colour. Yeah, that looks pretty good. This matte foundation did take a little while to get to the UK, which is why I think it launched in the US in August, but it launched here in September. I'm going to take my foundation brush and just blend that in. I like the fact that they have a matte one now because the original one was just a little bit too dewy for my liking. It was nice when it first went on and I liked the coverage of it, but it just turned a little bit too dewy throughout the day on my skin, so I'm really excited to try the matte one by itself. That coverage is beautiful and the shade is really nice, so mixing these two works really good for me, but I don't want to have to mix an expensive foundation, you know. So far I'm really loving how that looks on the skin, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a minute to set down before we move on to eyes. So to prime today, I'm gonna use the Revolution Ultimate Eye Base in the shade Light, just to make sure the eyeshadows are gonna be popping. So going into my Tropical Twilight palette, I'm gonna start with the shade Nightfall, which is the dark matte. This is my pointy finger and it has no nail. I'm just dabbing that on first and blending it out, but just by dabbing, no like swiping motions. And you want to make sure you diffuse the edges of the blue because it will make it easier to blend into the next shade that we put down. So next, going into True Love, which is the pinky purple in the palette, this one here, and that's going right on the edges of the blue. So just dabbing that even all the way to the inner corner, kind of like in a circle shape. I think today's look might turn out a little bit darker than how it was in my first one, just because my shades are a little bit darker than the ones in Carnival 3, but you'll get a very similar effect. But of course, if you really wanted to, you can go in with a lighter pink and use that here. And then on the edges, I'm going to go in with the shade Dusk, which is the matte yellow. And this shade I'm going to push up by the brow bone on the edges of the purple. And of course, I'm just laying every single shade down, but I will go back in and re-intensify every single colour. And I'm not over blending them together because you don't want them to turn muddy. So I'm just literally pressing and layering them on top of each other. Because if you go in and blend, once they mix and blend, I think yellow and purple make brown. So you want to make sure that you're layering rather than blending them together. Now going back to True Love, the pinky purple, just going to re-intensify that colour and pat it into the yellow. Once again, patting, not blending. Purple and yellow look so pretty together, but they don't blend together. So don't start blending and buffing them in. Just pat. But because this is a pinky purple, the pink and yellow together should hopefully make like an orangey type of colour. So just pat them together. And then one last time with the yellow, just re-intensifying that right up by the brow bone. I don't mind that my shadow goes up towards the brow bone, but if you don't like that, of course, keep it lower. But you don't want to do this too many times because it will start to turn muddy. So just do it a couple times until you're happy with the intensity. Now going back in with the blue Nightfall, and I'm going to re-intensify that on the center of the lid. I feel like this look would actually benefit from a little bit of glitter, don't you think? I didn't use glitter the first time. Should I? This is the thing about recreation. You always feel like, oh, I could just add this and add that, but that's not how you did it the first time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. If you want to leave it like this, of course you can leave it like this. I feel like I look so weird because usually I wing my shadows out, but this shape is really kind of circular. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Starlight, which is the silver glitter in here. So I'm gonna take the smallest dab. I'm literally just tapping in there really lightly of Starlight, and I'm just gonna diffuse that right over So I don't want it to be opaque. I just want it to be a light wash of glitter right in the center, like that. That's more than enough. But yeah, like I said, if glitter's not your thing, you don't want to do that, you can totally leave it how it was before. But that is basically it, guys. 3 eyeshadows, super easy to do. Now I'm gonna go do the other eye and I'll come back so we can move on with the rest of the face. Okay, so the other eye is done. Now we're gonna go ahead and do concealer. I'm gonna take my favorite Grwm Essential High Coverage Concealer in the shade Rich Ginger. I haven't used this in a while because I've been using my Hourglass concealer a lot recently, which I also love. So I'm gonna go ahead and conceal my inner corner, but also clean up and lift the outer edges of my eye. But this eye look though, am I not serving you night sky, tropical Twilight vibes? Yes. So what I'm gonna do is blend that in with a brush. Oh guys, I got in my first taxi the other day and oh my god, I do not recommend, because I've obviously been driving my car the whole time, like lockdown and everything, but I had to go into central London for an event recently, very small intimate 6 people event, don't worry. And yeah, I got in the taxi, you had to wear the mask the whole time, bearing in mind it took me an hour and a half to get into central London in the back of a car with a mask on the whole time. I literally felt like I was gonna pass out. It was so funny because it was my first time doing my makeup where I had to wear a mask, and I put on lip gloss, I put on like, you know you're just used to your routine. I had lip gloss on, I hadn't set the bottom of my face, and then I went to go put the mask on and I was like, oh my god, my whole face is gonna come off. So I had to quickly powder. I had to use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray that locks in your makeup. Like guys, if you want your makeup to be mask proof, that Charlotte Tilbury setting spray is the one. Then I put on a Fenty lips paint, stunner lip paint, to kind of not rub off on the mask. So yeah, it was the first time I had to do like mask proof makeup, and I see you guys, I see what you mean about not wearing lip products and stuff, because like what's the point? Well, the liquid lipstick works, so maybe liquid lipstick is the way to go from now on. So I'm gonna go set my face quickly with the Pat McGrath light medium 2 powder. I picked this up, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you guys, but I had the darker shade when I tested the powder and I did like the finish, but of course the shade was a bit too dark, so I went back and bought the, she was having like a sale, 50% summer sale, and yeah, I've really been loving this powder recently, so I'm just dabbing that all underneath my eyes. And this shade fits me so much better than the darker one underneath my eyes anyway. The other one, medium 3 I think it is, that works perfectly all over my face, but to brighten underneath my eyes, medium 2 is the one. Putting that all over my pores because this powder is so blurring and smoothing. I am obsessed, but I wouldn't buy it for £50, guys, honestly. I love the finish of it, but I wouldn't buy it for 50. But when it goes on sale, definitely grab it. Like I said, I think I picked mine up for £30, so. Then for the rest of my face, I'm taking the RCMA No Color Powder. How flawless does this base look? Wow. Now for bronzer, I'm taking the XX Revolution Vestige. I was gonna use my palette, but you guys are probably sick of seeing it, so we're gonna try something new, okay? Well, it's not new, I've used it once before. Very pigmented, so go lightly. I'm just gonna bronze my cheek and my forehead area. I love using this brush as well. This is the Morphe M500 brush. I just feel like it diffuses the bronzer so nicely and doesn't like pack on too much product. Guys, look how much of this setting spray I've used. I love this stuff, honestly. I'm so glad that I've got the full size as well. I think that's why I'm using it every single day, because if I only had this, I would be using very sparingly, special occasions. But because I have the full size as backup, I'm fine to go through this one. But if you can, get your hands on the sample size and test it out. So good. I think for today I'm going to take this Too Faced one because it's literally on its last legs. Possibly 2 more uses and it will be done. This is the Hangover 3-in-1, but it's like their watermelon version. Oh, don't tell me it's dying on me. Oh, it's dying on me. It's squirting out bare weird. I think it's done. Just like my fan. My fan's done out here too. Let's do a little bit of highlighter as well. So I'm going to take the Maybelline Face Studio Chrome in the shade Molten Gold. Haven't used this in a while. I'm going to keep that right here on the top of my cheekbone. How stunning is that colour? Ooh. And it just melts right into the skin. I'm going to start with eyeliner. This is the Nabla Cupid's Arrow number 4. And this is honestly so pigmented. Like, look at that. So black. I'm going to take the shade True Love. Put that all over the lower lash line. Then taking Dusk, which is the yellow, I'm going to press that on the edges of the purple. just to brighten it up a little bit and tie in with the top. And then to tie this look all together, I'm taking the shade Sun Rays, which is this yellow gold right here. I might mix in a little bit of glow as well, so these two. And put that on my inner corner, but I'm going to keep it pretty tight on the inner corner, not blown out, just right there. Yeah, I am obsessed with this eye look. Okay, so I'm going to throw some lashes on and then I'll come back so we can do lips. Okay, so lashes are on and these are from my brand MAKEUPBYTAMMI.com in the style Ava. They're cruelty free, they're vegan, they're faux mink, they're not real, they're made out of faux silk. And yeah, so moving on. I feel like adding a little bit of blush, so I'm going in with the KVD blusher in the shade Poppy. I haven't used this in a while and at one stage this was what I used every day. Just add a little bit of something to my cheeks, you know? A little bit of color. Sometimes when you're in front of all of these lights, you don't realize how ham you can go with blush and bronzer until you turn off all the lights, go in natural light, and then you're like, woo, wow. Now for lips, I've pulled out these Dole Beauty lip products. So first we have the lip liner in the shade Diva Forever and the lipstick in the shade FOMO. I've been loving this nude recently. It's so pale, but it melts into lip liners so well. Start with the lip liner. You can also use Glory from Revolution or my lip kit if you have it. It does the same thing. Then take in FOMO and I'm going to put that in the center. Such a pale nude, but once it melts in, beautiful. Now for me, when I go this pale on my lips, I like to top it with a clear gloss just so it adds some dimension and shine to the lips. So I'm going to take this. I haven't used this before. This is the Makeup Obsession Plumping Lip Gloss, the clear one. Oh, it smells minty. Oh, that is beautiful. I love a clear gloss. I think I put too much gloss on, but it is what it is now. Okay guys, so this is the final look. What do you think? I feel like I love it even more than the first one that I did. That might be because of the glitter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me show you what I did use in the Carnival Free, just in case you do want to recreate that exact look that I did. So I took the deep, I don't want to point with that finger. So I took the deep, the navy blue in here, then I blended it out with this pink called Pink Lily, this one here, and then I went in with yellow right up by the brow bone. So 3 shades once again, but it was a little bit brighter because I used the pink. The pink is obviously brighter than the pinky purple in my palette, which is why the look was slightly brighter that day, but you can still get the same effect using my palette. But if you do have this one, you can definitely recreate it with this as well. So yeah guys, that is it for today's video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.